All right, here we go, part 5. I think this is the 5th one. The antecedents make no difference in the determinist use of language, and as a result, the language loses its meaning. It is nonsensical. On the other hand, the antecedents are that which make the difference in the living use of language, and that makes all the difference. B. She tried as hard as she could. She did as little as she could. Notice that for the determinist, it is always true that a person tries as hard as he or she could or could not, and at the same time puts in as little effort as he or she could. Yet the synthesis of these opposites renders both remarks completely useless or meaningless. In every instance, everyone is both trying as hard and doing as little as they could. In living language, each of these remarks is a function of use or dependent on context. When one person says of another, "She tried as hard as she could," that remark is reserved for a particular person who has done some action or set of actions that are worthy of praise. It is not a remark that is used for every person in every situation. Suppose, for example, I make an appointment with someone and don't go because I decide to watch soap operas on television. And then the person that I made the appointment with asks me, "Why didn't you make your appointment?" And I say, "I couldn't, but I tried as hard as I could." Could that ever be a valid excuse in real life? No. I don't think so. The point is that, like example A above, we do not say she tried as hard as she could or she did as little as she could in all circumstances as the determinist does. Circumstance is a necessary ingredient of a living language. In summary, the phrases "I don't know that," and "she couldn't have done anything else but," and "she tried as hard or as little as she could," are just a few examples that show the necessity of use and context in order to gain meaning. I have showed that if these phrases are used in the same way, in the same respect, in every case, that is, universally and context independently, then the phrase itself becomes meaningless. However, these remarks do have meaning when used context dependently or in the flow of life. C. Static state descriptions are unintelligible. One of the beginnings of the free will problem is to say, quote, "Persons are determined to do whatever they do." Unquote. For the determinist, there must exist within each person a set of conditions which constitute the psychological state of that person at a point action in time. This psychological state or entity, then, could potentially be accessed in order to predict what that person is about to do. The view that brain states or propositions are entities in the brain, combined with the practical syllogism view that what a person does is a function of proposition states, for example, the belief-desire thesis, "I desire X and believe that in doing Y will get me X, therefore I do Y," results in a deterministic view of human action. Objection number 1. No set of propositions will ever be able to adequately prescribe what a person is about to do. For example, examine the proposition, "I desire a drink." I believe that drinking water will relieve my thirst, therefore I drink water. Notice that the syllogism does not prescribe where or how I will go about getting water, the action itself. There are an infinite number of possibilities regarding my action, and therefore no set of propositions will ever be able to prescribe what I actually do. Objection 2. Suppose, for example, I ask you, "Why did he do that?" and you respond, "Because he thinks he is better than other people." It is not difficult to see that there can be no exact analysis or reduction of or deterministic state for "he thinks he is better than other people," just as there can be no reduction of complex entities into simple, unanalyzable concepts. I have shown that not only meaning, but also a person's behavior, cannot be understood or determined via a point instant from inside. Neither the nature of action nor the nature of meaning exists anywhere in an entity or an event that is subsequently emitted. The alternative is to realize that both a person's behavior and the meaning of language can only be understood within the context of a situation, within the flow of life. Well, thanks so much for listening. Any thoughts you might have, I might appreciate. I would greatly appreciate. I want to say that this paper was derived from the coursework with Bruce Goldberg. So many of these ideas are not my own. Some of the examples are from Bruce Goldberg's coursework. Some are mine, some are his. I have not given him credit here and there where, if I were to publish or something, I would need to do that. So I want to make sure you've realized that if anyone else had taken courses with Bruce, they would say, yeah, that's Bruce Goldberg, that's Bruce Goldberg. So, but this was my synthesis that I wanted to put together after my coursework with him. I haven't visited this in a while. So actually, as I was reading it, I was sort of asking myself questions. But I'd appreciate any thoughts you might have, and please keep making your videos. Well, thanks, Az. Take care now.